Hey guys, Megan Claire, so welcome to this week's video blog. So this week our blog had a theme of free accommodation, so we have posts up all about the different kind of options for when you're travelling. Before we start though, I'd like to do a shout out to everyone who's new across all of my social media. We've hit some amazing milestones in the last few weeks, and it's just amazing that so many of you want to share in my adventures and my experiences, so thank you for being here, and I really appreciate all of your comments and support. I'd like to do a special shout out though to my favourite followers this week, to both Ty and to Lynn, and also to my friends over at The Road, which is an RV blog. Hope you all have an amazing weekend, and thank you for following. Okay, so camping. Camping's my favourite form of accommodation abroad, and everyone should try it at least once. Hear me out here. So camping is a really fun and convenient way to save money, and it allows you to truly experience and appreciate everything that the outdoors has to offer. I do enjoy the comfort of a 5-star hotel and the atmosphere of a hostel bar. However, I've camped all over the world. Like, I've camped in the desert plains of Africa, in the outback of Australia, and some of the best times I've had have been just under the stars, in the great open wide spaces, and waking up in the fresh air. I mean, there's just really something amazingly magical about being out in the wild. And I will admit that camping can often turn crappy, for instance when it rains. Good morning. So it's currently day 6, and Mike and I are most likely stuck in our tent all day because, as you might be able to hear, it's currently pissing down with rain outside, which is awesome. But I guarantee you that they will be the stories that you'll tell when you return home, mainly because roughing it just really does give you a greater sense of accomplishment. I mean, adventure travel is all about challenge and reaching outside of your comfort zone, right? So there's no need to worry though. A lot of campsites nowadays include amazing amenities which make roughing it not really that rough at all. The majority of the time camping takes place in a designated area where there are regulations and rangers enforcing protection of the environment and stuff like that. One thing I forgot to say about camping that I'll quickly throw in now while I'm editing is if you're camping in an area with monkeys, make sure that you zip your tent right up to the top, because if they smell food, they will unzip it. They're quite clever creatures, and you'll wake up next to an unwanted sleeping guest. We made some friends in Africa. So this week Emma from Gotta Keep Moving has written an amazing article for us on couchsurfing, which is just another form of free accommodation. I've never personally tried couchsurfing, but I've heard stories from friends who have, and they've just had amazing experiences and stories to tell. So obviously the biggest draw for couchsurfing is the benefit of having a free place to sleep and free accommodation. Just how it works is that you create a profile and you can scroll through the different profiles of people in the area that you plan on visiting, find someone who has a couch available, and then you send them a request to stay with them. They can either approve or reject your request, whether they approve of your profile or not. But apart from that, Emma tells us that it really is just that simple. Most hosts stipulate about a 3 or 4 day stay, so it's probably not best if you're looking for long-term accommodation. However, just to start out, you're probably only looking for 3 to 4 days at a time anyway. What I was most surprised about, however, is that people who are actually avid users of couchsurfing don't actually like to focus on the free accommodation aspect of it. They're actually more interested in the social networking aspect. It's a way to connect with other travellers. If you stay with someone and you only use them for their free accommodation, then you don't actually spend time with them or make an effort to get to know them. You get really, really bad reviews, and it's quite rude. So it's not the best way to go about impressing your host. So the other thing that I found really interesting about Emma's article this week was the revelation that couchsurfing isn't just for people who have houses to offer and people who are looking for a place to stay. You can make a profile and set it to different display functions depending on your level of availability. So for instance, you can say that you maybe have a couch, or you definitely have a couch, or you're only available for a drink, meaning that you're just open to meet people for a drink and maybe show them around the city, but you don't actually have a place for them to stay. So it really does seem like it's an amazing opportunity for networking and meeting other travellers around the world. It's actually quite safe as well. That was my main concern when I heard about couchsurfing, and I guess probably the one reason I haven't tried it, because of my concerns about safety. But it was actually written a full piece, section in her article about safety, and she said that the websites actually have safety measures in place to make sure that your experience is nothing but positive. They can verify your location, you can be vouched for by the couch surfers. There's also a review system where you can tell others about your experience with the host, and all of those systems combined form quite a safe program. So another form of free accommodation is house sitting. Mike and I have actually house sat around Canberra, which is our hometown in Australia, and it worked out really well for us when he came from America to spend 12 months in Australia and I was still staying at my parents' place. We spent 2 months of straight house sitting, and so we had our own space and we weren't cramped with family, like sharing a bathroom and that kind of thing. It was really great. So the majority of people have actually heard about house sitting, but not many understand what's involved. And this week, Nicole and Michael from Suitcase Stories wrote an amazing article about house sitting internationally and using that as a fantastic opportunity for free accommodation overseas. So Michael and Nicole are a nomadic couple from Australia, and they gave up their career and sold all of their possessions for a life of travel. And you can imagine that travelling indefinitely would become quite expensive when you're paying nightly rates at hotels. So Michael and Nicole's favourite form of accommodation is actually house sitting. So house sitting is basically an exchange of services for free accommodation. So the homeowner goes away on a vacation and they get a house sitter to come in and take care of their home. It's pretty much that simple. A lot of the time there'll be specific stipulations, like they might ask you to take care of their garden while they're away, or they might need pets that need taking care of, but you sort that all out with the homeowner themselves. So there are websites that can hook you up with different house sitting opportunities, and Nicole goes into all of that in the article on our blog this week. You just need to go on and create a profile and then start contacting homeowners directly. So anyone can do it. There's absolutely no age requirements. You don't need experience, and it doesn't matter if you're traveling alone or if you're traveling as a couple or with a family. There are house sits which are available for everybody. And it doesn't even matter where in the world you want to house sit. For instance, Nicole and Michael have lived on an island, they've lived in the Costa Rican jungle, they've lived in a beach house in Florida, a gorgeous English cottage, farmhouse in Spain, and so much more. Right now they're spending 7 weeks in Barbados, so I'm very jealous. But wait, there's more! So another form of free accommodation is actually home exchange. So you may have seen the movie called The Holiday, which has Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet, Jack Black and Jude Law, which is actually all about home exchange, which is a vacation alternative where you stay in my house and I stay in yours. So there's basically 2 types of home exchanges, home exchange and hospitality exchange. So home exchange is trading your home, condominium or apartment at any time that is convenient for the both of you. But those are not the only types of accommodation that you can choose from. For example, I've read in the news recently that one exchanger traded his home for a 40-foot yacht. I wish. Another couple swapped their villa in Italy for an RV in Oregon because they'd always wanted to go on a tour of the US. Often home exchanges will include their automobiles as part of the package. Hospitality exchange, on the other hand, mean that you host each other in their homes at designated times. So your home exchange partners stay with you as a guest and then you go and stay with them as a guest. So it's more of a social aspect to that kind of exchange, which some exchanges particularly enjoy. And conceivably also you get a built-in tour guide with that kind of home exchange. So the idea of home exchange, if it's unfamiliar to you or it's frightening, I've been told that you can rest assured because there are over about 250,000 home exchanges each year, and swapping homes can bring many unexpected rewards. So just like house sitting, you get a much closer look at other cultures and you get a feel of the places that you're actually visiting. The connections that you make with the home exchange partners can turn into friendships. If you're doing a home exchange, then your home is being cared for while you're away, much like house sitting, and you've got a lot more flexibility and freedom as well. So you can, like for instance, prepare your meals at home, come and go as you please, and you have a lot more privacy. And just like house sitting, there's pretty much unlimited opportunities all around the world. So for instance, if you're looking for a mountain setting, or if you want something at a seaside resort, or if you're set on visiting Hong Kong or Paris or New York, there's just absolutely everything out there that you could want for any time that you're wanting to travel. So make a list of the places that you want to visit and then narrow down some dates for when you want to go and how long you would like to stay. Keep your options open just until you see what's actually available though, and don't hesitate to be open to places that you might not give a lot of thought about. For instance, if you give yourself the least restrictive guidelines and the widest possible parameters for your dream vacation, then you're more likely to achieve that goal. It takes some time to complete arrangements for a home exchange, so allow plenty of lead time. I figure probably about 4 to 6 months. So once again guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you all next week.